I used to be a youth pastor, and so creating awkward moments is actually a skill of mine. All right, so my name is Mccandless, and I want to tell you a story about how a not-for-profit organization impacted my life. And actually, I prefer the term for impact instead of not-for-profit. So when I was about 8 years old, I grew up in East Tennessee, and I was at the Boys and Girls Club. Any other club kids here? Okay, yeah, Boys and Girls Club. And I didn't have the words for it at the time, but I was depressed. And as I sat there feeling lonely and in misery, there was a guy named Mark who just sat down beside me. And that was his job, to sit there and to be present with this kid who was going through a tough time. And that moment didn't just get me through that day. That moment might have saved my life. And so those for impact organizations create moments that can change the trajectory of somebody's life. And there's no economic value that's measurable in that. But I would say that we all have some kind of story where somebody, through no money from us, had a huge impact on our lives. And so with Teal Consulting, I seek to find funding and create strategic systems for nonprofit organizations to elevate their impact. And so everybody who's running a not-for-profit organization or a for-impact organization is dealing with a different version of the same set of problems. They're trying to make a big impact with a little bit of money and a really long to-do list. But you can do more with less whenever you have a system in place. And so what we do is we will provide some simple tools that you can implement immediately, and over time, you're going to be able to stabilize, refine, evaluate, and scale your operations. And we're going to find the funding along the way to be able to do that. So here's a case study. The previous client of mine, Hope Clinic for Women in Nashville, had an education program seeing 250 students a year, providing about 2.5, 3 hours of education for pregnancy prevention. Great stuff. After going through this process, we were able to see 3,000 students this last year with 6 hours of education. That's a 20-fold increase over time. And that doesn't happen overnight. It's like dieting and exercise. It's that long, slow, intentional decision to make healthier choices for your body. And you can do the same thing for your organization. But there is a system that you can put in place to be able to do that. And we're going to find funding to be able to make that a reality. We've already won millions in both public and private funding that are going to enable you to grow your organization's funding. Just here in Madison County, for the Scarlet Road Project, a really wonderful organization, we were able to win some opioid abatement funding, and our application had the top score in the county. And yeah, give it up. They just celebrated their 10-year anniversary, and it was really a joy to be a part of that. They're a wonderful group of people. And I love being able to do this. I'm a former clinical director, and now I get to be a hired gun for people and go out there and try to get some organizations that I'm a big fan of some money. So if you are connected with a nonprofit organization, I have some swag to give away. If I get an email in my inbox that says you signed up for a meeting, there's a QR code back there. Everybody's got a QR code, right? So if you sign up for a meeting, I got some merch I'm going to give you right away. So help us connect your 10-year vision to today's to-do list, and let's cultivate some possibility.
Yeah! You have a wide variety of nonprofits that you work with. Now, is there a target, like certain type of nonprofit that you target in the market?
Great question. So I would say anybody who is doing good work, we're going to get along just great. But I would say somebody who is in that kind of mid-range size, somebody who's got maybe 10 to 200 employees, they have an idea of where they're headed, someone who has gotten through the startup phase and is in a place where they're kind of stagnating after that initial momentum from starting up. And so, okay, you know who you are, we need to dust that off, and then we need to put you a system in place to grow you to the next level. Now, I've worked with people who are startups and people who are very well established, but it's a lot of times whenever someone is plateauing, that's when it really is beneficial to bring in an outside pair of eyes. And now, how many of you guys have still kept a New Year's resolution? 2 people, okay, 3 people, right? So for like most of us, so it's not like you don't know what to do, but it's that accountability, which is such a big part of it, and the tools to do it with more objectivity and less emotion.
Do you only work with nonprofits, or do you consult with for-profit organizations?
Great question. I would say anybody who is mission driven, and so there's things that there's not-for-profit and there's social enterprise, which is like kind of in between for-profit and not-for-profit. But let's say that you install Windows and you want to bring your values and your mission to that. There's no reason that that system can't work. So a lot of this is actually adapted from an approach to for-profits that have brought to not-for-profits. So it's easily transferable back. Great question.
And also awesome.
Yeah, it's totally planned.